Hey y'all, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about talking about new makeup, trying new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoy the video, hitting the like button. And today we are playing with some new makeup. I did a little birthday haul and I have two videos, a part one and part two. I will try to remember to put a card up for a part two. It's the longer one, with more items, more exciting items to talk about. But June is my birthday month and I did a bit of birthday shopping this month. But yes, I did a little bit of birthday shopping this month and I wanted to sit down and do a video just incorporating some of the things, most of the things, minus one. I'm going to do a separate video. I'm going to do a separate video reviewing the Anastasia palette, the new Nouveau palette. That's funny. Nouveau. The Nouveau palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. There will be a separate video where I'm demoing this and trying it out for you guys, but we're gonna focus on the face today. And I do have some new items that I want to play with. I want to play with the new extended range of the Nars bronzing cream. I have Laguna 3. This isn't my first time trying this formula. It's my favorite cream bronzer formula. And it's not my first time using this, but I wanted to use it on camera and just show you guys the difference between this one and the original one, which is the one that I have that is a bit more neutral. This one is more of a my summer shade for bronzers. So let's get into it. I also wanted to be a little chatty with you guys and talk about this month. We are at the end of June and let me just get ready. I've already done my brows and I have sunscreen on because I did run out earlier today. And I used this sunscreen. This is the Summer Friday Shade Drops Broad Spectrum SPF 30 Mineral Milk Sunscreen. This is my third time trying this. I really like it. It is one of the few mineral sunscreens that does not leave a cast. It doesn't make your skin feel super dry. You know, usually when I use a mineral sunscreen, it just feels like you have a layer of like chalk on your face, and I don't feel that way. Like my skin still very much feels like my skin. But I did want to try this little sample that I got when I placed my Pat McGrath order, the Divine Rose Essence. So we're gonna put a little bit of that on and see. It's been it's been quite a month, both personally and I think for this country. But for me personally, this has been the busiest month I've had in, I would say, a good year. You know, I made the transition to freelance and contract work about a year ago, not quite a year ago, because I lost my corporate, you know, job at the beginning of the pandemic. I lost my job in, let's see, I was laid off, temporarily laid off in April of 2020, the height of the pandemic, just as we were going in lockdown, because, you know, there was no work. Everyone, you know, what I did at the time, I worked in corporate America and I did event planning. Of course, there were no events, so it made sense. And then I was officially laid off in July of 2020 when the company that I worked for was sold. And, you know, they just basically got rid of everyone that was, you know, either superfluous or no longer needed. Right now I'm using the Nars Tinted Glow Booster in Tangsi. This is not a new product, but I don't think I've ever used this on screen. And then I'm also using my Kosas concealer. If you can tell, can you see how empty? I don't know if this is showing up on camera, but there is barely any product in here. And I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying a new one when Kosas had their sale, but I was being like, I don't know if they want to shop yet. And now I kind of regret it because I didn't realize that I've basically gone through this entire thing. Anyway, these are not new items, but I thought I'd mention them since I'm putting them on my face. So for me, it was really sort of figuring out what I wanted to do with my life going forward. And so I really started focusing on, I knew I didn't want to be in a traditional corporate job anymore. It was not for me. I'd done it for over a decade, and I was not, the irony is I was not happy in my job to begin with. I was pretty unhappy. So being laid off was kind of like a mixed blessing, you know? Like, it was stressful, but it was also like, I kind of felt like they did me a favor, if that makes sense. Like, I was like, okay, because by doing that, it just kind of changed my mindset about what I wanted in my life going forward. And I decided I didn't want to do corporate work anymore. I didn't want to be in an office environment, 40 hours a week. I didn't want to deal with, office politics and microaggressions and all that fun stuff that you often deal with, not only as a woman, but as a Black woman, or, in corporate America. I just was over it. And so for me, I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I have basically been doing what I wanted to do, but I was given the opportunity to make a little extra money this month by basically doing, for short term, what was meant to be longer term, but doing what I used to do, but doing it for in a less corporate environment. Basically, I was working for an individual as opposed to a company, which was great. But it feels like this month, I had a ton of opportunities for work. Because on top of that, I had other projects and other things that I had the opportunity to do, and I accepted them all, and which was great. The thing about freelance is it can very much be feast or famine. You can either go from having a lot of work or having no work or having very little work. And then this month was, very much a feast month for the month itself. But I am one of those people who, I'm not a huge, what's the word I'm looking for? And I'm going to be using the Nars Laguna 3. I don't like being overly busy. I'm not one of those people who's like, book them busy. I've never been that person. And as you can see, I don't know. I don't have it with me, but I think I showed it in another video. What the, in my, I think it was my haul video, how much warmer this one is to the original. And I love this formula so much. It's incredibly pigmented. This is just one dip for both sides of my face. This is how pigmented this is. But what I was saying was, I'm not someone who enjoys having all of my time focused on work. Like, I did that for a while. I did that in my old job, and I hated it because I didn't feel like I had any life outside of my work. Like on the days that I did have off, I worked a 9 to 5, but it was very draining, and I didn't want to do much. The days, like on the weekends, I was just like, I just want to lay. I just want to turn my brain off. And so it made it, my work-life balance and my quality of my life outside of work wasn't the best as a result of that. And I really wanted to make sure that I never put myself in that position again. And unfortunately with this month, I feel like I did, but I didn't mean to. I was just like getting all these opportunities. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. And it was overwhelming for me. It was very stressful. This month has been incredibly stressful. On top of that, it was my birthday month. June is usually my favorite month. I'm not gonna lie. I love my birthday month. But June is also just like a great month in general, like weather-wise usually. And I was just like, I'm gonna be busy, but I'll make it work. It's just for the short term, it's just, once I get past June, everything will sort of even out and mellow out and blah, blah, blah. And that was me being, I think, I was a bit overestimating how draining working on multiple projects that, and I'm going to do this even though I just put powder on. I just want to do that a little bit. I want to even that out a bit more. how draining it can be to work on multiple projects at a time. And not only work multiple projects at a time, but multiple projects that were not in the house. Like if I had been at home, you know, working from home, doing these things, it would have been fine. I was not. And so I was running around. My day started at 7 and ended, you know, when it ended, my last day at my, you know, on this particular project, I got there, my day started at 7 and ended at 7. So I just felt drained, and I also felt like I wasn't enjoying the time spent working. Like it wasn't like fulfilling in that way that, you know, work can be if it's something that you really enjoy doing. I wasn't feeling that because, and I realize now it's because I was doing work that's not the work that I feel fulfilled by. I sort of took something because I was like, that'll be great for the short term and I can handle it. And I did, and it was, you know, I did handle it, but I was also incredibly stressed and I was incredibly tired and my body was worn down. I got sick. I'm still recovering. I don't know. My voice isn't as bad as it was, but it's still a little croaky, at least to my ears. And on top of that, we had a massive heat wave this month. We had a massive heat wave. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. I posted this. I didn't show this in my birthday haul videos because they hadn't arrived yet, but I got the M Cosmetics Faded Clementine blush. And I got persimmon. Yes. Yes, I did. I'm very excited. And this is my first time trying it. I'm very excited for this. So this is the moment of truth, my friends. I'm using my Linda Hallberg brush since this is a baked formula. I figured this would be good for that. Ooh, it picks up a lot of product. Okay. So let's... Oh, that's really pretty. Oh, I like that. It's not as pigmented as I was expecting, and not in, and when I say that, I'm not saying that in like a, oh, it's not as pigmented. I mean, like it's not, and I did tap my brush off. It does pick up a lot of product, this brush with it, but I'm not, oh, that's so pretty. Oh, I love this. And again, my window's open, guys, because I had to turn my air off so I could film. So, and it's another scorcher, so your girl has to have some, she's human. She has to be able to have some sort of air, some sort of, you know, or I'm going to fall out, and that's not what I want in life. This is so pretty. This is so pretty. I'm like sweating here and my brush is getting wet. So yeah, my birthday was a bit of a letdown as well. I had plans that wound up getting canceled. And then the weather was really crappy. It rained and stormed my entire birthday. So that was fun. And then I got sick. And then I was working like, you know, full disclosure, guys, this is the most makeup I've had on my face in, I want to say 2 weeks, because it's been about 2 weeks since I've sat down and filmed anything. The videos that you've seen are videos that I filmed, you know, like early before I was running out the door 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. I have not been wearing makeup because it's been so hot here. I've honestly just been doing sunscreen, mascara, and my brows and some lip balm, and that's it. And I've been fine with that. Like it's been nice to kind of have a break from makeup. Like I love makeup. Makeup is, you know, one of my passions, but I also want to take a break every now and then so that I can like come back to it and not be burnt out, you know. And it's the irony is that I had all this new makeup that I purchased and ordered, and it was all just sitting there because I didn't have time to use it, you know. I got my new highlighter. Pat McGrath's brand sent me the new one. If you saw my video about the blushes, this broke and they sent me a new one, so I got that in the mail, and that's really exciting. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on here. Also, I wasn't wearing makeup because my skin had a reaction to the sun, which happens to me every summer. I try to avoid it by, you know, I wear hats and I wear sunscreen, of course. I am very much a sunscreen themed. I believe in sunscreen wholeheartedly. I don't leave my house without it. But sometimes when it's really hot, my skin, and the sun hits my skin gets very, very, very reactionary. And it's not heat rash. There's a name for it. It's called polymorphous light something. It's basically when the skin literally has a reaction to sunlight. It's basically a sun allergy. Yeah. So I was dealing with that too all this month. And so that's another reason why I was like, I'm not putting any makeup on my face. I was slathering on sunscreen. I was wearing my hat, my sun hat. And, you know, and that was that. So my skin is finally looking like my skin again, which is amazing. But yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to decide, should I put a lippy on now? And if so, I'm wearing orange, but I'm going to be playing with the Anastasia palette in the next video. And I don't know. Should I? Yeah, let me go grab a lippy, and I might do some freckles because I feel like this Faded Clementine calls for freckles. What do you think? I think it does. I am back. I'm just lined my lips with my little baby BFF3, and I'm going to go in with Cork. I'm going to keep my lips really neutral because I'm wearing such a bright color, but also because since I'm doing my Anastasia demo after this, I want to make sure that I keep everything around it neutral because I'm thinking, guys, oh my god, lipstick all over my teeth. I'm thinking I might play with that purple. And since I'm wearing orange, I don't, you know, I think if I'm going to do that, I need to keep everything else pretty simple. But I am going to do the freckles. Okay. And that was my Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in Cork, which is one of my all-time fave lipsticks, favorite neutral lipsticks to wear. Let's put some freckles on. I'm using my little baby Freck. But yeah, so that has been my personal month. And then we had the whole situation with Roe v. Wade. And I have a lot of opinions. A lot of opinions about what got us to this point. And I would espouse them here, but I don't want to get like too pissed off because I have a lot to say. But let's just say that I feel like there is a response to this that it's kind of pissing me off. I'm not gonna lie, this response of like people who are encouraging people to not vote or to protest not voting. And I've been seeing that a lot on social media, and I don't know what the people are talking about, because that's exactly what got us here, is people not voting for the candidates that should have been voted for in 2016 that paved the way for the person who was elected to appoint 3 judges to the Supreme Court. We've lost the Supreme Court for a generation as a result. That's just a fact. You know, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They want to be like, well, what can we do? And, you know, can we expand the courts? And like, yeah, technically, you don't have the support for that. And by that, I mean, you don't have the numbers for that. And one of the reasons why you don't have the numbers for that is because people aren't voting for the proper candidates to make sure you have the numbers for that. So, yeah, I have a lot of opinions, and it's one of the reasons, it's the main reason why I didn't post on Friday, because I just was so like, first of all, I just felt like weird posting a makeup video on that day. I was actually working that day. It was my last day at my position, and I was in a mood, and I know everybody else was in a mood too, and I just was like, you know, let's just skip it for today. Let's just take a moment to deal with like real shit. The makeup can wait, you know? That's where I was at. I both love and hate freckles on me. Is anybody else like that? When you do full freckles, you're like, I love it, but I also kind of hate it. But I also really love it, especially with this blush. It's so pretty. So this is the finished look. I really love this blush. I think it's so pretty. I think it's so soft. I love that it's not super pigmented, even though my brush was picking up a lot of product and I was worried that when I like was applying it, it was going to just be like poof, pigment everywhere, but it's really not. It's really subtle. It's got this beautiful glow. This has a stunning glow to it. It's so smooth. It gives a nice glow, but it isn't like highlighter. Hi, I'm a highlighter on your cheeks. I love this. I do want to try this one in a video soon. Let's let the chart go by. I do want to try this persimmon in a video soon, and I'll show you guys now the difference between the two. I didn't even think about that. Bad YouTuber, sorry. Let me show you the difference between this one and Faded Clementine, because I was worried, even though I knew what they looked like, I was worried that in person they were going to look really similar, and I was going to be like, oh, I just really should have just gotten one of these. They are both in the orange family, of course. One is more peachy leaning, but as you can see, persimmon is very orange, like very orange. I want to dig my fingernail in there. And Faded Clementine is very peachy almost. So you can see here the difference. They're very different. You know, for being like tones that are in the orange family, they're very different. So for me, this is perfect for today, and I'm going to try and work this one into a video sometime soon as well, so you guys can see it on my face. But yes, that is the finished look for now. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm now going to gear up for filming my Anastasia Nouveau palette review, which I'm really excited about. It's been crazy. Like I said, I haven't been wearing makeup, and I haven't really been like in the mood to wear makeup because of like just how busy I've been. But I'm excited to like finally be able to sit down and play with makeup again, because I feel like this month has sort of just been, it's been an insane month all around for me. And I'm feeling like this is the first June where I've been like happy to see the month end. Not even lying. Usually with June, I'm like, oh, my birthday month is ending, I'm sad. Now I'm just like, you can go. I don't know what you've been on June, but you can go. That's how I feel. So, and I'm sure a lot of you feel that way too. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this blush, this Faded Clementine blush, and this glowy look that I've created here. Let me know in the comments if you want to talk about the decision from last week with SCOTUS. Please feel free to do so, but please make sure to be respectful in the comments. I will say this, I am pro-choice. Please do not slide into my comments trying to convince me to be otherwise, okay? Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button, and if you are not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.